Okay, we have another question. I am diabetic and had a kidney transplant in September 2024, and my blood sugar is out of control. What should I do? Okay, that is a super good question because both the fact that you've had a kidney transplant and prednisone itself can lead to glucose dysregulation. They've done studies and shows that people who've had kidney transplants have a higher risk for what they call it glucose dysregulation, changes to the way the body's using glucose. And so that is definitely a thing that you're at more risk for just because you've had a kidney transplant. Is it because of the transplant itself or because of all the medications you have to use to keep the transplant in your body? And a lot of the time, I would assume it's the medications. Like in pharmacy school, they taught us just assume it's the medication. Like it's probably not some random weird new disease. It's probably just a side effect of the medication. And, like the famous quote, like, if it gallops, don't think a zebra, think a horse. It's more likely to be a horse. So it's most likely the medications. And one of those medications, it sounds like you're taking, is prednisone. And so if your blood sugar is out of control and you have kidney issues, you have a transplant, you have to take all these medications or you will lose your transplant. The option is not to stop taking the medications, right? Like that is not, we do not go there. We do not mess with those medications. But it's really tricky with transplants because a lot of things interact with kidney transplants medications, especially the number one most likely that I'm aware of as far as kidney transplant medications that cause interactions is tacrolimus, which has lots of other names, but we call it TAC in pharmacy school, TAC, tacrolimus. You have to monitor the drug levels in the blood to make sure it's safe. And so we want to do whatever we can to avoid causing drug interactions that will make you lose your kidney. So that was what I wanted to cover first is we've got to prevent any complications to your kidney transplant itself before I talk about other options. So if you are diabetic and your blood sugar is out of control, generally what we do is adjust your insulin doses, right? So that means you need to be talking to your transplant doctors, your endocrinologist, whoever's prescribing the insulin to get the right amount of insulin, because if blood sugar is out of control, it's because there's not the appropriate insulin involved. Other things that are really important to do is eating a healthy diet that is low in processed foods, eating whole foods, the Mediterranean style diet. Those are really good strategies to help keep stable blood sugars. Finally, there are some herbal remedies and vitamins and things that can help, but a lot of them are not safe for somebody with tacrolimus on board. So one thing that prednisone is doing that you can potentially talk to your kidney transplant doctors about using is called chromium. So our bodies have chromium. It's a metal mineral in our bodies. It's usually in very trace amounts, like very small amounts. We usually have a little tiny bit of chromium. It's not like calcium where we have a ton of calcium. Like we just have a tiny bit of chromium. And it's usually kept in this nice balance and we don't usually waste it. And we don't usually need to eat a lot of it because we only need a little bit. But when you take prednisone, it's making you excrete chromium. Like your kidneys, your new little kidney that you've got with that transplant is getting rid of chromium. Like it is making you pee out chromium. And it's not just people with kidney transplants, it's everyone on prednisone is depleting their chromium because of the prednisone. Like the prednisone is telling the kidneys, waste the chromium. And that's really bad because we need chromium in a complex with insulin to have proper blood sugar regulation. And we don't have enough chromium, that leads to blood sugar issues like diabetes and blood sugars getting out of control. So we want to make sure there's enough chromium so the insulin can do its job properly so your diabetes is under control. So talk to your kidney transplant doctor about, hey, is it safe for me to take chromium picolinate? Now that's the one that has the most evidence for benefit. They did a study in Israel in 1999 showing that chromium picolinate itself at a dose of 200 micrograms 3 times a day would reverse diabetes caused by prednisone. Like that is huge. And I even though I've read the studies and it proves reversal of diabetes, I feel like, can I even say that? Like, is that even legal to say that something reversed diabetes? And like, I can't say that on my product listing. Like I sell a product, Nutrinize Zone, that has chromium picolinate in it for this purpose. And I can't say that when I'm trying to sell it. But here, when you're asking a very specific question, I can say that because That's what the science shows. Like, it was a peer-reviewed study in Israel. They gave people chromium picolinate and it reversed diabetes. Amazing, right? So at the very least, talk to your doctor about it. I do not recommend this product for people with kidney transplants because it has ingredients in it that cause a drug interaction that may lead to decreased tacrolimus levels. I don't want to do anything to your kidneys. So do not take my product if you have a kidney transplant. But the one ingredient in there is chromium picolinate that might be helpful, but you've got to talk to your transplant doctor and get their approval first. Okay.